Hare Krishna. Question: why did Bhima kill Duryodhana unfairly by hitting him below the waist? Answer: the whole fight was actually very unfair to Bhima because Duryodhana had got into the fight an extraneous factor. He had got armor from Gandhari, his mother. That armor was invisible and invincible, and no matter what Bhima did, he just could not overpower Duryodhana. Duryodhana was beating him and he was beating Duryodhana, but Duryodhana had been rendered invincible. So the whole fight had been rigged to become patently unfair for Bhima because there was just no way he could win at that time. To understand the patent unfairness of such a fight, consider a cricket match in which a champion bowler is bowling to a champion batsman. And somehow the rules at that time are changed of the match in such a way that the batsman, it's declared that in no way, no matter what happens, the batsman will not get out, will not be declared out. Whether the batsman comes like before the wicket or the batsman gets clean bowled, the batsman has hit wicket, caught behind, stumped, caught by a fielder or stumped or whatever. No matter what happens, no matter how well the bowler bowls, the batsman will never get out. And in such a situation, what can the bowler do? Now, if suppose the cricket rules were rigged, changed in such a way, all the spectators and the fans would be up in protest. This is so patently unfair. But suppose no one protested, then what would the poor bowler do? The bowler keeps bowling, and he even clean bowls the batsman. But still, what happens is the batsman keeps batting, and whenever the batsman gets a ball, the batsman hits. So this will be just a merciless arrangement for the punishment, the brutalization of the bowler, and this was the predicament of Bhima. Now, at least twice during the course of their war, Bhima he had prepared his life throughout for this confrontation, and he fought the match of his life. He fought so fiercely. Twice he hit Duryodhana with such force that the force was enough to rent a mountain, rent a hill, what to speak of split a human frame apart. Although the force of the blow caused Duryodhana to fly off his feet and fall on the ground at a considerable distance away, still Duryodhana remained utterly unhurt. And this was like a batsman clean bowling a bowler clean bowling the batsman remaining as it is. What could Bhima do? What could Bhima do at that time? And it is not just that the bowler is getting the batsman out and still the batsman is not out, but rather the batsman is hitting back. Duryodhana was also fighting fiercely, and Duryodhana was also hitting Bhima. And at one particular point, when Bhima was hit by Duryodhana, the wound was so brutal that a lesser mortal would have been killed. But Bhima, in order to somehow, with almost like a superhuman fighting spirit, he not only stayed standing, but he maintained a stoic face. By which Duryodhana was taken aback. Duryodhana had hit a vicious blow, and he had expected Bhima to fall. And when Bhima did not fall, he withdrew back. At that particular point, if Duryodhana had pressed home his advantage and hit Bhima again, it could have been lethal. But already there was a lethal blow, and because of Bhima's stoic face, he kept Duryodhana withdrew, and then Bhima got time to recover and keep fighting. So Duryodhana's blows were weakening and wounding Bhima, whereas Bhima's blows were having no effect on Duryodhana. So this is like, take the thing forward, or the batsman bowler analogy forward, and it's not only that the batsman is getting out but is not declared out. It's not just the batsman is hitting the bowler for sixes, which is going to destroy the morale of the bowler, but rather consider the batsman is hitting the ball back right at the bowler, and the bowler is getting injured by the hits, and yet the bowler is expected to continue bowling till death. So the whole situation for Bhima was like that. The opponent whom he was beating, there was no effect on the opponent, and he was getting beaten up. So this was not a normal fair fight at all. And rather than asking the question why Bhima hit Duryodhana unfairly below the thigh, below the waist, on the thighs, we can actually turn the question around and ask, why did Bhima actually stick to the rules of fair fighting in a fight that it was already that was right from the beginning so unfair? He could actually have rationalized, justified hitting an unfair blow based on multiple factors. Before the war, when Maitreya Rishi had come to Duryodhana, to the Kuru assembly, to try to persuade the Kauravas to avoid fighting with the Pandavas, at that time Duryodhana had insolently slapped his thighs as if to show off his prowess. And Maitreya Rishi had been so furious. He told him, "You fool, you're so proud of the strength of your thighs, these very thighs will become the cause of your death." So Bhima could very well have said that, your thighs were meant to be destroyed and they will be the cause of your death. And that is the curse of Maitreya Rishi. I am simply acting as an instrument of that curse. Yet Bhima did not aim at the thighs of Duryodhana immediately right in the beginning. And further, Bhima had also taken a vow to break the thighs of Duryodhana, because Duryodhana had obscenely exposed his thighs to Draupadi, inviting her to come and sit on those thighs while she was being dishonored in the Kuru assembly. Now, for this also, Bhima had taken a vow that I will break the thighs of Duryodhana. And Bhima could have said, for a person who has been so monstrously immoral in terms of dishonoring Draupadi, Bhima could have thrown morality to the winds and he could have hit Duryodhana right at the beginning at the thigh. And he said, I have to honor my vow and I'll do what it takes to honor the vow. But yet, Bhima did not do that. Bhima planned to break the thighs of Duryodhana, but his original plan was that he would fight fairly, defeat him, and after defeating him fair and square, when Duryodhana had been knocked down, then he would break the thigh of Duryodhana. But in this particular case, the Duryodhana had brought something extraneous, and therefore Bhima also had to bring something extraneous, and that was to get some, to restore some balance in a fight that was already colossally unfair. Bhima had to resort to some extraordinary tactics. It's like going back to the bowler batsman example. If there is no way that the batsman can ever get out and the bowler is getting pounded, not just for boundaries, but pounded in his own body, then what can the bowler do? So if the bowler decides to bowl body line and gets the batsman injured and then retired hurt, and that is the only way the bowler can be saved. Now, normally bowling body line is wrong, but in such a situation where the batsman is never going to get out, what can the bowler do except do ball body line? Similarly, normally hitting below the waist, hitting on the thigh is unfair. But in this particular case, there was the only opportunity that was there for Bhima. He had to take that. So when this was not at all an ordinary mace fighting where the normal rules of mace fighting could have applied. Here the odds had been drastically turned in the favor of Duryodhana by the benediction, by the armor that his mother had benedicted him. And therefore, to bring the odds back to some level of balance, just as Duryodhana had brought something extraneous into the fight, Bhima had to get something extraneous. So Krishna had prepared a plan in it, and the part A of the plan had been that when Duryodhana was going to his mother early in the morning after bathing, and his mother was going to bless him with a invincible armor. So Krishna went to Duryodhana and told him, Duryodhana, you are going to your mother. You are a fully grown up man. How can you go without any clothes? At least cover your private parts. And then he put a loin cloth around his private parts and around his thighs. And that's how his thighs were covered. And when Gandhari opened her blindfold and she looked at Bhima, she imbued all her mystic power, not at Bhima, at Duryodhana, she imbued all her mystic power into Duryodhana's body, wherever her eyes saw him. But because he had covered his thighs, so that invincibility was not there in the thighs. and they were the vulnerable part. So the part A was that Krishna ensured that Bhima had a vulnerable zone, and part B was when the fight was just going on and Bhima was getting pounded. At that time, Krishna indicated to Bhima that he should hit at Duryodhana's thighs, and that's how Bhima hit Duryodhana once on his thighs, and that blow was itself enough. Duryodhana was totally wounded, knocked out of the fight, and the battle was decided. So later Krishna said that there was no other way Bhima could have won this war, and that's why Bhima did what he had to do for winning the battle of Dharma against Adharma. Thank you.